Welcome to the Foothills of the Smokies podcast, brought to you today by the Old Mill. Our historic grist mill, in continual operation since 1830, is the cornerstone of our spot right here in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. We've been welcoming families for decades, and now we invite you to join us as we tell the stories of not only the people and what they do here at the Old Mill, but of folks from all across our beautiful region here in the South. I'm your host, Jimmy Proffitt, and this is Foothills of the Smokies. Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Foothills of the Smokies. Again, I'm Jimmy Proffitt, your host, and today I have some really special guests, some folks that we're so excited to talk to. We've got Landon and Kate Bryant. Welcome to the podcast.
We are just so excited to be here.
Well, we're really happy to have you all here. Landon, for those that are not familiar with you, what's your sort of pitch? How do you tell people?
What am I doing here?
What are you doing? Yeah, what are you doing here?
Up here.
What are you fixing to do?
Well, I just talk too much on the internet is what has happened here. And now we've got books and I do stand up around the US, but I'm Landon Talks all over the internet, where you'll find me talking about all this kind of stuff, talking about all y'all.
Yeah, absolutely. And the two of you have a podcast.
We do.
And it's
Landon
called
Talks with Kate.
Mhm.
This is Kate.
Your lovely wife.
Yes, the actual driving force behind most of the thing that's going on.
Yeah.
I just am the silly goose that's in front of the camera.
The face.
I love that. I love that. So when did the idea of your first book, which is kind of what we're here to talk about today, and then you've got a second book coming out we'll talk about, but when did the idea of Bless Your Heart, which is your first book here, A Field Guide to All Things Southern, when did this come about? What was the idea that brought this to
Well,
life?
Blew up on social media first. That was like the first thing that came about. And very quickly, that was in like February of that year. And then by April, publishers were in my inbox wanting to talk. And so I very quickly had to arrange getting a literary agent. And I got one through my friend Erin Napier of HGTV Hometown fame. And that was really such a good connection. And then this
because she's in your hometown, because you're all over
that is
Mississippi. That's right.
Show's about us. But, so then this book became it wasn't like I decided I want to write this book. It was presented to me as an opportunity, and I took it, and I was just really glad that it became there. I didn't know this. People wanted to hear what I had to say, you know?
Right.
I never thought I needed to write a book. But the more I talked on the internet, the more I realized that the things I'd like to talk about are things that are kind of going away, language that's going away. And so it becomes something that I wanted to preserve over time. And that sounds like I started out with like a goal. I just talk on too much.
Right.
But it
and
turned
things
in,
just kind of
it
developed.
evolved into that. And then this is kind of like the next step of what that became. And I'm just so glad because it's a collection of all the stuff I talk about and all the things that are important to hear.
Yeah, it's an amazing little book. I loved reading through that when it first came out. I ordered it right away when it was in pre-orders.
Yeah, your video about it was one of my favorite ones.
Cool. Yeah, so it's and we've carried it here, of course, at the Old Mill, and it's great. So you were just talking about these things, some of these sayings, and just talking, and I love your you'll kind of put it out there and say, let's discuss. And you let everybody kind of get in the comments and just see what they have to say, what their response is. Does that always work really well for you?
I love to drop like a controversial topic, like grits, sugar and grits or something like that. And then hands off, step back and watch what happens. That's like where I like to be. And this is kind of like a bunch of those things all together. I love that though. I love that it's brought this community together. And it's very unexpected for me.
Right.
Because I mean, truthfully, I didn't even think I had that much of a Southern accent when we started doing it.
Really?
Because if you go in the woods a few miles, they get real thick, you know?
Right.
And so I thought I really didn't. And so it's so strange to me, the more that I would talk about it, the more I would realize how unique those phrases were. And even the first thing I shared was not, it was because she, bless her heart, has had to deal with me since second grade. So she was there for all the stories I've ever told, all the stuff I've ever done. She was at the actual event, so she doesn't need a recounting of the story.
Right.
I love to talk about things. And one day she was literally like, her eyes like glazed over as I was talking in her direction, telling her the same thing for like the 19th time. And she was like, what if you told your stories to the internet? Which is like a nice Southern lady.
Nice way to say it.
Of being
Go
like,
tell
that's
somebody
enough. So I did, and I told a story about how we went to Walmart High School, and we really did.
Yeah.
And that kind of blew up. But when I told that story, I said, regular phrases like fixin' to and might could and those kinds of things. And then people asked me about those phrases, and that started let's discuss fixin' to.
Yeah.
And it just blew up from there. And every single phrase that I said or that and every video I make, I'll say something that I think is just regular language. And somebody will have something to say about it, or like they'd never heard of that. And it continues to blow my mind. We're like 2 years in and I still.
So you'll start out talking about something, but there's a word that you've used and that's what people are latching onto.
Very much. And it surprises me every time because it just seems like regular language to it seems like regular.
So is it because it surprises them, or they also use it and they're like, oh, I'm so glad there's somebody else that says it.
It's a bunch of different reactions, and I love all of them. There's some people that say that and they love to hear somebody else say it. There's some people that used to say that and then they moved somewhere and like somebody said something to them, so they're embarrassed to saying that anymore. Or they used to hear their grandmother say it or their great grandmother say it. And I do lean into, like, I was raised by my great grandmother. I have wonderful parents, but I spent the days with my great grandmother and grandmother. And so it's turned into, now I'm sharing things I remember her saying. And maybe people don't necessarily say those things all the time now, but I like to share them as like, this is how we speak. And people really connect to it, whether they have never heard the phrase before. They're like, what are you talking about? That's wild. Or maybe
it's a little bit familiar and they don't remember where they heard it. Because I know growing up, where I grew up in Virginia, I mean, we all have accents, definitely. Yeah. Our teachers tried to identify as Appalachian. So, they didn't really get the best reputation. So they tried to kind of bring us around and kind of pull the accent away from us a little bit, I think. And so I don't have as much of an accent as I used to. I don't wash my clothes anymore. But
you order.
I did wash them all the time, or my mom washed them. I did. So things like that kind of went away.
Definitely.
I find it kind of coming back more now. So I think listening to folks like you, it makes us more comfortable with being ourselves that way. And there's not that stigma on it maybe anymore of why it wasn't okay to sound Appalachian or okay to sound country, because people thought it meant that we didn't have the best reputation or we couldn't be taken seriously.
Like I didn't set out to do that. It just turned into that for me. And I kind of like am ignorant enough to where I just do whatever I feel like doing and I don't care.
So, your goal is not to bring this language back, but
but now it's turned into like, I really hope people are unapologetic about it. Like the more I saw people be like, I said might could at work and they made so much fun of me. And so now I've kind of taken this, I feel like bullying everybody else now. I feel like we spend enough time like being like, sorry, excuse me for saying y'all, excuse me for bless your heart, like excusing ourselves from this natural thing. And now I've kind of, at first I started doing this and I was like, no, it just is. And now I'm on the other side of it where I'm like, no, let's take over and like everybody say might could, y'all say all that you can. And
that, I think that's what the internet has done for us, all the social media is it's allowed us to be ourselves, because at first nobody was watching. There was nobody out there listening to what we were saying, and so we were just out there talking. But then so
and I
folks like you, where it caught fire. And
for you as well, you like represent Appalachia so well. And I think that regionally specific culture experts right now is like, what is the next big wave on the internet? I think you can probably see it if you look through your For You page right now, but you can find generic information anywhere. And now with AI, you can really find generic slop. But people who know what they're talking about a specific culture, I think the world today is primed to be interested in other cultures and other things around the U.S. And so I think we've hit a moment that's like really good for what we do and also for the South.
No, I agree. So this looks like it's a little book, because it's really, as far as size, it's not real big, but this is 200 pages that are packed with, would you call them Southernisms?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So this is packed with Southernisms. How many Southernisms did you get in here?
Oof, Lord.
I know some things kind of repeat in a little bit, so you kind of primer it in one spot and then you go into it deep into another. But do you remember how many?
I do not remember how many. I had never done a project like this before. It really...
Well, there's multiple per page and there's 200 pages, so...
There's a lot of them. Yeah. She was really the driving force behind like the organization of this book and getting it on paper. I have a lot of ADHD and I really struggled in school, especially with like completing big projects. So she gets the credit for all that and for the organization of it. So how many Southernisms were in this?
Boy, I do not know. A lot.
That's some homework. That's some homework for the drive home. You know,
I just tried to keep up with anything that I remembered and said. This book is a collection of things that are specifically like from my great grandparents and like my grandmother. So it's not all the Southernisms that I know. It's just like ones that were very near and dear to my heart. This is like the first collection of stuff I put out there. So these are the first things I think of when I think of the South. This is that. So there'll be more in the future that's a little more academic, a little more like specific. This is just a collection of the things that we love. And I'm glad with how it turned out because she had to help me organize all my thoughts. I just had all these thoughts that we got into a thing. And then she really helped pull it into like organized spaces, like holidays and all the things. I'm really pleased with what it became.
I'm a former special education teacher, so my past with accommodating my students really helped me.
Well, and you've also got a background in media, so getting those details and telling the story in the right order probably helped a lot there as well.
Very much so.
So Kate, what is the most Southern thing about Landon? What's the most Southern thing that he does?
Oh my goodness gracious. Let's see. He's really friendly to everybody, and I think that's
So he's never met a stranger?
No, not really. No.
Pretty Southern.
That's pretty Southern.
I'm gonna hang out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm gonna say that.
Okay.
Like super friendly.
Every now and then you'll emphasize what I just said with my accent. Every now and then you will make fun of me.
Yeah, he's got a pretty thick accent.
So her family is from Cajun area.
Okay.
She's from that area. So it's very interesting too. And I think the longer we've been married for 14 years, and the more we talk about this kind of stuff, the differences in the culture is so interesting. Like the base of what the cultures are is so fascinating because her people are like, no, like they're like a buck against the system because that Acadiana.
French.
And my family's like very Scots Irish, so it's just a different thing, but they're very similar. It's really fascinating.
I was going to say, you also find threads that in lots of cultures that are very similar. I mean, I have
very much
friends that are Jewish, and foods that they eat are very similar to foods that I ate growing up.
And the attitudes around family and matriarchy, like it's a whole thing.
It's
globally,
really,
we get people that recognize it all around the globe, like people from Uganda relating to the structure of our families, or people from Vietnam knowing about boiled peanuts, like that is it's really fascinating.
Yeah.
So, Landon, what's the most Southern thing that Kate does?
Oh, she does so many Southern things. Okay, so Southern women are so strong and so powerful, and they are in charge. Like, we know that.
Yeah.
If we were to take a vote at family lunch and we were like, who's in charge? And our eyes were all open, we would be like, Granddad, But if everybody's eyes was closed, it would be unanimously, Grandma is in charge.
Yeah.
And the women are just like so strong and so fierce and so in charge of everything while still showing love and still taking care of everybody. And she does that so well. There's not anybody that can eat me up faster than this girl right here. And it's just such a Southern like quickness, like a sharp, quick wittedness that I come from women who do that, and who like would be, my great grandmother would be like in a dress in the dirt in her garden, but then could be inside and put on a whole situation and run circles around you academically at the same time.
Right.
And she is that in so many ways. So it's like who she is so Southern, just like at her nature. She's a very Southern woman,
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Same for you.
So for both of you, what's the most un-Southern thing that you've done, or something that's gone against your Southern tendencies that you've done?
Okay. We travel a lot to not Southern places. Like, we're really in Southern places a lot. And I do find myself like loving places like that. And every now and then I'm like, what a traitor. I'm like loving Manhattan right now,
Yeah. Yeah.
So I get
it.
We love other cultures. I think that's a thing as well. Like, I really
love Cape Cod, and it's nothing like being here in the Smoky Mountains.
Exactly. I think probably what people would be surprised to know about us is that we're like not very good at like being the hosts of. I think Southern people are very host oriented. And if you were to come to our house, we would definitely make sure that you were taken care of.
Yeah.
But our families are the ones that host things, like we're just trying to make it. We're trying to get dinner for ourselves and like make it through the day. So we might not be as like.
Well, you've talked about there's a hierarchy to these things.
Right,
so are you trying to stay in your place there? Like, you don't want to.
Because we know.
We don't want to push anybody off that hierarchy.
Right.
Well, once you're on that hierarchy of like covered dishes, you're stuck.
There's expectations.
And you're there every year. So we like to stay in plates, knives, napkins, forks land,
Yeah.
And mess that up every now and then so they don't trust us to move up to Cokes.
Not very
Or
southern.
salads.
Totally get that. My dad, when my mom would remind him it was time to mow the yard, he'd make a stripe down the middle of the yard and then start mowing around. And then it would just aggravate her and she'd send one of us out to go finish the yard. We knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
We knew what he was doing
Pretty
because he'd
smart.
get distracted halfway through and half the yard would be mowed and there'd be a stripe down the middle of it. So
That's hilarious.
totally get it. Totally get it. So that's probably pretty southern too.
Exactly.
In your book, you talk about food in a variety of ways. Not necessarily. Do you have recipes?
Not recipes.
Sort of ways to maybe
Like
make
a-
something
like
about food. But
Generally, this is what it is. Kind
Right.
of a vibe
Right.
in the book. I think there could be a cookbook one day if we get in touch with you a little bit more. Like we hung out with you, we'll end up with a cookbook in a week.
there you go.
But right now, I just wanted to introduce it because honestly, and you have experience with this, so you know, I think just based off the few videos that I've had that are controversial, saying things about specifics about food,
Uh-huh.
because sweet cornbread versus not sweet cornbread is a whole thing.
It's a whole
I think a
thing.
recipe centered book would just be so controversial. Like,
Yeah.
I bet like you hear from a lot of people about recipes and stuff. I
Yeah.
can imagine. I feel like that's the next level.
Yeah,
For
yeah, definitely. But there are some terms that you use. So let's discuss. Pecked.
Oh yeah, and it could be peaked, if peaked or
Pecked
pecked.
or pecked.
And that is just straight from my grandmother and my great grandmother. You're looking a little peaked
Yeah.
today. And you pinch those cheeks,
Mhm.
get a little blush, look a little rouge, make it look like you got a little rouge on. I've heard those phrases so much, but yeah, frequently accused of looking peaked.
And the way that you say pecked or pecked depends on what you're saying. So
Yeah.
your grandmother says you look a little peaked,
Mhm.
but if you're talking about yourself, I tend to go, so pecked.
And I love those kinds
So
of
it
rules,
feels like
how
the-
things change
Like
specifically.
the current tense and past tense and yeah.
All right. It was like I said, we're going come somewhere and then we're gonna. And I don't know why I've changed the two.
Yeah.
Like, why did I say gone
Yeah.
in the first time? Why did I say gonna? I don't know what the rule is. And so same thing. We have
It
like,
just
these
happens.
strange understated
Yeah.
rules.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the actual rules
Like
are.
the and the.
It's like it's a feeling.
Yeah.
It's however the spirit leads you.
Yeah.
That's right. I love the spirit leads. I love that.
Yes.
All right. How about spoilt or runt?
And I love both of them. Spoilt and runt are very good. And I love that you pronounce it correctly. Spoilt
Salt.
is the correct way to say it.
Yeah.
And runt is just, they're like brothers and sisters. They're both,
Yeah.
you can use them interchangeably. I feel like runt is a little more emphatic than spoilt. Sometimes it just feels right.
Right.
To say a little bit runt. And you can really lean into the runtness of it.
I kind of feel like spoilt is something that happened.
Mhm.
Runt is something I did to it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I like that.
I like that
great.
too.
That's great. Okay, yeah.
Again, those unspoken rules, like we don't know how to use it, but we know how to use it.
Right.
We know when it comes
Right.
into play. Making groceries is one you talk about.
And that is the farthest I've tiptoed into Louisiana, because Louisiana has its own culture, and
Yeah.
I see it with her family when we go down there. And when they come up, like being at a crawfish bowl with her family, I would just stand there peeling crawfish and not knowing a word that they are saying. Like, I have no idea what's going on, just nodding, like agreeing.
Yeah.
But making groceries is something that you hear a lot, specifically in New Orleans. Like, New Orleans is a very making groceries type of an area, and that's just so unique. I just had to throw it in there. I love that. I think it's so fun to say making groceries. There's some things that I didn't necessarily. Most things in there are things that you would hear me say naturally. Making groceries, and a couple other things are things that I found that I just think that's quirky and fun. And I like to include it as Southern culture.
And
but
I probably hadn't ever heard that before, but as soon as I read it, I knew what you meant.
exactly.
Do you find that there are a lot of people that are going, "What are you talking?"
So much.
All the time.
And especially, so none of my editors were Southern for this book.
Yeah.
So the first manuscript that I got back, it was like solid red. They were like, "What are you talking about?" But I'm really
Are
glad.
you like, "Oh no, I've really messed up here trying to write books"?
But I'm really glad that they did that, because it would have been a book for specifically people from Jones County, Mississippi. Like, that would have been who could understand this book.
Right.
But it turned into I had to explain things a
So
little
to help
bit
you
more.
flesh out those
It ended
terms
up
a little
with
bit more.
Footnotes, which is hilarious, and like endnotes and cross references. So it became a little bit more academic, but now, because of that, the book is for anybody. Like, if you are Southern, you're going to be like, this is hilarious. If you're not Southern, it's like a literal guide.
I'm going to come up with a new word for the Southern-demic.
Okay, I like that very much. Exactly.
That's good. Yeah.
So feel free to use that.
That's
You're
good.
going to see that on the front. So it became something that it wasn't, and I'm really, really pleased with that. Like, the very first time I was talking to my literature agent, I was explaining like things that were going on, and I was talking about I got my first brand deal with Bush's Baked Beans.
Yeah.
And I was so proud of it.
They're right in our backyard.
And they're great people. They really are.
Yeah.
I quoted them way too low, and they came back and quoted me an appropriate number that was much higher. So they could have robbed me
Good
blind.
people then. Okay.
I know,
Right.
and that was really nice of them. They even were like, "You need to know that this is how," and that was really nice.
Yeah.
So I went and told my mom. She didn't look up from whatever she was doing. She was like, "Well, I sure hope you're tithing on that." Like very Southern mom way of being. But I told that to my literature agent, and she was like, "What is tithing?" And I was like, "Oh, okay." So we are.
There's a lot to explain here.
No, right.
So you really had to teach them right out of the gate.
But I'm glad because this turned into something totally different than it would have been if it had if I just been let loose to put out what I wanted to.
Yeah. A mess.
Okay. And here we have like
Multiple meanings.
multiple meanings because I'm usually a mess
Yeah.
in like my physical state. It can be like how
A
you
mental
look.
mess.
It can be a mental mess. You can be making a literal mess.
How you act.
Yeah.
And then it's also a measurement, like a mess of something. And I love that measurement because to me, and you are a food person, so maybe you have a different opinion, but I think a mess is like exactly the right amount.
Absolutely. It's a mess of beans. How much?
Yeah.
A
It's
mess.
the right amount.
For
Yep.
however many people's coming, a mess of greens for that many people. It's
Yeah.
exactly the right amount. And I love that so much. I think that's so fun.
Yeah. Dinner versus supper.
Take this one.
Okay, so supper isn't supper. We say supper more than dinner,
Mhm.
but supper would have been like an earlier dinner before it got dark, right?
So here's what I've learned after talking about this on the internet so much because it gets very confusing. At least what I've like gathered from so you'd have breakfast and then you would have a lunch and then you would have a dinner that was like the biggest meal of the day. And then the last like little thing of the day was the supper, like just a little like evening, like little supper. But it kind of is so different because we'll use dinner sometimes to mean the evening meal altogether.
Well, it could be Sunday dinner, which is in the middle of the day.
Right.
It could be Sunday, right, which is Sunday lunch. So
Which is now backing it up. And you're like, wait a minute, where did lunch go? We just had Sunday dinner. We did
Exactly.
Sunday-
Dinner is a lot more flexible, whereas
Yeah.
supper is always
supper is the
nighttime.
evening for sure.
Yeah.
Dinner could be, it's like the big meal. I think dinner's the big meal,
Yeah.
you know, like Thanksgiving lunch. But that is, I love that kind of a thing because everything's so different no matter where you are, it like changes. And I like to see how that works.
So when it comes to the family gatherings, like Christmas, Thanksgiving, those kinds of things, are you having dinner? Are you having supper? Or are you having lunch? What is it?
We have Thanksgiving dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And what time of the day?
And that's
is that?
lunch.
It's like 2:00.
Okay.
Like right there. And that's lunch. So that's the trick.
Yeah.
But when it's a big meal, it's the dinner at nighttime, you know?
Well, we're always complaining on Thanksgiving that
We're
we
going out to dinner, and that means it's at night.
Mhm. Right. And we always wish there was a Thanksgiving dinner like at nighttime because all of our families, we all live in this one area. We're like 4 generations deep in Jones County, both of us. So holidays are chaos because we're going from place to place. And you know, like when our grandparents were alive and great grandparents, you would have at your great grandmother's house, and then your grandparents want to have one, and then your parents want to have one, and then her family is separated, so there's like 3 families. So we could end up at like 9 houses in one day, and they all insist on it being like lunchtime.
Yeah.
So we're always like, have a dinner. Somebody have a
who's
dinner.
gonna have supper for us?
Please have dinner. But
So you just start eating at 9 o'clock in the morning and go all the way.
yes, exactly.
Yeah. We end up at my grandmother's at 11 o'clock in the morning with a full spread
Right.
on Thanksgiving.
Right.
Yeah.
When you're like not even awake yet, like trying to figure out
Yeah.
But that is a good debate, and I actually think I want to bring that up in the next little bit. Like that, I think we need to argue about dinner versus supper pretty soon.
Funeral food.
Fun.
Yeah.
Fun.
That is a fun topic.
It is. And it's important.
It is
Yeah,
important.
it is.
It's like such a good example, I think, of like one, the strength of the women in the community, because when people are at their most intense moments, people are having their hardest time, which is the passing of family members. So a lot of times, who's there taking care of them? The women of the area and the people who feed people. I think that's very beautiful. Her grandfather recently passed away, and that is very sad, but we're going to make jokes about it instead of being sad about it right now.
Right.
And we had the funnest time at the post-funeral situation in Soso, Mississippi, where she's from, which is right outside of Laurel, literally named Soso.
Yeah.
It's like, just all right, you know. I think it's actually a Native American thing. I don't think it's like Soso, but you know, that's where it came from. And we're at this little church, and all the ladies that we've known our whole lives, you know, that have always been like worried about the stuff, and They all have the same haircut. It's very interesting, but they are flitting around afterwards in this thing, taking care of everybody, making sure everything is perfect. And they pull it out at the funeral food thing. And even one of them came over and she was like, you see how that's the good broccoli casserole?
Yeah.
She's like, because we make sure that everybody's best dish, it's their best dish, and they like won't let people bring it's assigned. It's very specific.
Because they have a funeral food committee at the church.
And there's a hierarchy to that too. So
it's important. And then from the funeral food committee, it breaks off into subgroups. And one of the subgroups is the bereavement basket committee.
Isn't that great?
Which is like a few of the funeral food committee.
For like things you need in your home the week after.
Right.
So it's like paper goods and things like that.
Knowing that people are stopping by, people coming in from out of town and all those things.
All that stuff.
Last thing you want is a bunch of cleanup to have to do. So
So the funeral food committee, there's a lot of tinfoil pans and type of stuff. So you can, have aluminum foil, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And they just really take care of you. It's just such a thoughtful thing. Like we're also isolated in life. We have like all these different forms of media that we consume, and everybody lives different lives, even in these small places. But when stuff like that happens, you see the community come together, from the funeral food, from the committees, from the bereavement baskets, from the people that show up at the funeral themselves, to even like getting to the funeral and to after the funeral. We'll shut down the whole town basically, to pull over to the side to let the funeral procession go by. Yeah. And I think that's just so beautiful. It's one of my favorite parts of our culture. It's like, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter your political beliefs, like what you've done, you're going to receive respect from everybody.
I've seen that so many times, like driving in on 66, and a lot of folks that have been here will know, driving in, it's a big divided highway, and I've seen traffic on both sides come to a complete stop.
Mm-hmm. Complete stop. Wait. And it's so interesting. I've been annoyed at traffic before, for sure, but I've never one time been very inconvenienced by a funeral procession. Like it's always a thing that is like, I'm stopped. There's nothing that's more important than
because we're all taking a pause.
People.
Right, absolutely. Similar to funeral food, covered dishes.
And I love it.
Which we touched on a little bit with the hierarchy of that.
I love it. And even the term covered dish, people don't call it a covered dish. I mean, this is a potluck. If you're not a covered dish people, potluck, or like a plate lunch type of a situation. I feel like plate lunch could get into meat and threes, but covered dish is when everybody's bringing something to display, and it's usually your best. Like we said earlier, you have to be careful. If you bring something really good, you got to bring that every year in that form.
And don't change it.
Around here, it may be called a dinner on the ground.
A dinner on the grounds. Dinner on the grounds. That's exactly
for a church supper.
Exactly what it is. Like, and I think they're very fun to do. Yeah. And I think a lot of people get nervous about potluck type situations. Like if you were at a random company and you had a potluck, you would need to, is what's going on at this house. But where we're from, you can pretty much be guaranteed that everybody that's brought something here has brought this before. It's very good, or you wouldn't dare bring something that wasn't approved, so you're safe at a covered dish.
It's trustworthy because you can go down the line getting your food, and if there's one bowl that's completely full and the rest of them don't have much, like that might be the one to stay away from.
Yeah, very much.
Barbecue versus cookout. What's the difference?
Okay. And this is the thing. That is a problem, y'all. What's the problem? Because barbecue is a specific type of food. It's not the action. I mean, it is an action you're barbecuing, but a cookout is you're cooking outside pretty much, even on the back porch.
Right.
You're cooking out. It's hamburgers, it's hot dogs, it's stuff you just brought together. A barbecue is like a specific type of meat. It's like long, low, slow cooking. It's very specific. It's controversial sauces because the sauces change no matter what. And what's the sauce here? What is barbecue sauce here?
Oh gosh, it's going to be a red sauce.
We're red sauce type. We're red sauce in Mississippi.
Yeah, a little bit of spice, a little bit of sweet.
Yep.
But everywhere is so different. There's white sauces and mustard-based sauces and everything like that, and everybody's very specific about it.
Yeah, where I grew up, it was a vinegar base.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah,
it was
West Virginia vinegar base. Yes, I'm glad I'm getting a map in my head of where the things were.
We had one called Shenandoah Valley Barbecue Chicken. It was a very specific barbecue chicken, and it was a clear.
I love that
vinegar-based sauce.
I love that kind of stuff. But barbecue itself is like if there's not like a low, slow cooked meat, it's not a barbecue. This is a cookout.
Right.
And you can really disappoint. You could really disappoint Southerners and Appalachian people if you invite us to a barbecue and it is hamburgers and hot dogs.
Right.
And we love a hamburger and hot dog. We're not too good. We're not highfalutin.
No.
But you set us up to think we were getting a specialty.
Yeah.
A specialty food.
Right.
Possibly cooked in the ground itself.
That's right. That's right. Eye of the stove.
That was one of the things I was surprised by, that people don't call it.
What do they call it?
The burner.
The burner, I guess. Yeah.
But it's
Well, that
the
makes
eye of the
sense.
stove.
Yeah.
Like, it's the eyes of the stove.
Yeah.
I don't know where that came from, but it's definitely the eye of the stove.
Yeah. And you have your favorite eye.
The front,
That's
not right.
It's
the
that-
front right
that one.
eye.
See, mine's
is.
the front left.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm a front left.
Okay, we've got to ask everybody on the internet. We're going to have to ask them. We'll have to make that video when this is over and ask everybody which eye. Which eye are y'all
mine's
using?
front left, and I think it's because it's closest to the sink.
Okay.
So I'll fill up that pot. And,
Our right is
Ours
closest
is
to the
closest to the
sink.
sink.
That makes sense.
The right one.
okay.
I've mentioned this before on the internet, and somebody said that the front right one gets more power than the other ones. Like, but actually, yours right now that I'm looking at, your front left one is the small power
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
So, okay.
And that stove over there in our little test kitchen here where we're at, that's probably about 40 years old. So
So could be.
One of the best ones.
yeah, it's that thing is still kicking. Let me tell you,
That's good.
you want to burn something real fast, cook it on that stove and not pay attention.
One thing I thought that was like I thought that was the term for the burner on the
Yeah.
stove.
Well, now I've heard the term putting it on the back burner meant that's where you're going to put something to keep it warm,
Yeah,
to,
right.
to place it off and let it set for a while. Because the back burners were always a little bit cooler than the front burners, where that's where the heat was and where you're cooking, especially with a wood stove or a coal stove if you're cooking with those.
I bet,
Yeah.
I bet that really is where
Yeah.
the back burner. Yeah, I've always understood the phrase back burner, and I knew it was related to that, but I never put it together with like wood stove.
But we
type.
never said the back eye.
Yeah, you're right.
So you've got eye of the stove
Again,
and put it on the back burner.
We've got these rules, y'all. You just gotta know them.
Gotta stay up.
Buggies.
I love the buggies. Is that here? Buggies.
I
here?
hear both. I hear both. Buggies and carts. Yeah.
I love buggy. I think buggies.
We're
the best,
pretty, like,
the best
only
solid
buggies.
buggy. It would be weird to hear somebody call it a cart. You know, it's always been a.
And usually it's shopping cart.
Yeah.
Like we don't
Yeah.
just say cart, it's a shopping
And
cart.
that's so much
You're
extra.
More
Yeah.
specific.
If we hear shopping cart, we know you're not from.
We're like, huh? Okay.
From.
All right. Where are you from? No, that's not.
And how do you feel about putting their buggies up?
I mean, I think. Okay, with the exception.
You want to get my dander up?
Yeah. Seriously.
With the exception of people who, I mean, some people have mobility issues. Like, I understand that.
Sure.
But put your buggy up. And I honestly think, and I could be wrong, I'm not, and I'm the least judgmental person, honestly, because I forget in the moment. Like, it's not going to stay in my brain for too long. So I'm really not judging anybody. But I feel like people putting your buggy up is like a kind of a litmus test for how how good of a person are you.
Well,
Like, if you're a
yeah.
person that gets to leave the buggy here, then you don't care about everybody else in this parking lot.
Right.
You don't care about the workers that have got to put this together. You're too busy and doing too much. And here even though life gets busy, we value slow and doing it correctly.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've had a hard time moving past seeing one time the pastor's wife in our town didn't put her buggy up.
Oh,
and
no.
she was not disabled. She was very capable. And I have never moved past that. Like, I
So
see
long
her to
ago.
this day, and
Yeah.
I'm like,
Mm,
y'all shouldn't, you got to be weary.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
This lady, y'all should
Right.
That's
put
right.
a buggy up. And what's
I was traumatized when I was a kid by seeing this cart or buggy go flying past us in the parking lot and hit a car in the parking
Yeah.
lot because somebody just
Exactly.
didn't put it up and
Exactly.
it took off.
Right.
And so, I just never forgot that.
Well,
So
it is.
I always make
I will
sure.
never
Right.
forget.
Oh,
But,
and I don't even try to work it up into the gravels, or the curb or anything. No, I go out, put it back.
Put it in.
And it's
Always.
hot.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's not that hard to do. No.
Well, it's a signal that you're thinking about other people.
I-
And I feel
Well,
like
and
that is kind of so.
we'll say it goes back to our mamas because my mom always made sure we had to put our stuff up,
Right.
put our toys up, put our
Yeah.
whatever up.
Take care of the things and take care of the people around you. And
Right.
that's like
Right.
generally, like, you can look in a parking lot and see who will do that. And,
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
But if you go to Aldi and you got to put that quarter in there, everybody puts their buggy up.
And we're about to get an Aldi in Laurel, and I'm so curious
See what
to
happens.
see the buggy behavior at
They are
Aldi.
going to put it up every time.
That's so interesting.
Because you get the quarterback.
Yeah.
Did you know that? You have to put a
Yeah.
quarter
You
in.
put a
to get the
quarter in
buggy,
and then you'll get it
Wow.
back.
and you get the
That's
quarterback.
actually genius.
And it's just a quarter. And it's been a quarter forever. I knew this 25, 30 years ago. It was a quarter. So it's just the philosophy of you're going to
Right.
put that little deposit
See,
in, you get it back.
need
Yeah.
them back. You should
Well, I
just do it,
know.
y'all. Like, you should just do it. But,
Yeah.
That's
It's-
right. This day and
I do
age.
think
Some of us need something to keep us honest, I guess.
Right.
I guess. Pickling.
here we have a pickle expert over here. She loves
All right.
loves a pickle. Sometimes throughout the day, like the electrolytes she gets are
I'm a pickle
from
eating
pickles.
expert.
Okay, gotcha.
But she can pickle anything.
Yeah, you can.
I mean, pretty much anything. And I've seen quail eggs eaten pickled.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
There's
My
lots.
family's big on the pickles, the quail eggs, the beets, the onions, pretty much anything.
Pretty much preserve anything in some
Okra.
vinegar and
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's good to go.
And how lucky that we come from a culture that has that type of stuff, because I feel like that's a flavor profile you might not encounter even if you weren't
Right.
used to fermented foods that preserve stuff. One of my earliest memories is in my grandmother's pantry lined with cans of things that she had just preserved, and
Yeah.
it's almost like a daily thing, putting stuff up.
Right.
Yeah.
And so many memories like shelling peas on the porch
Mhm.
and snap peas and
So
all that
putting
stuff.
up was something I hadn't really thought about talking about, but that's what we say. We're putting up.
Putting it, yeah.
And what does that mean?
Yeah.
You're putting it up. You're saving it for later. You're
Right.
getting ready
Storing.
for the rest of the year. Whether that's like, they're like putting up corn day is a huge day in our family.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
used to be because everybody goes, picks the corn, and then they've got stations set up where you're scrubbing the hairs off the corn, somebody's shucking it, somebody, not me. They never give me the knife to cut the actual corn off. But, and then some of it's made that day for lunch. Some of it is, it's just a whole activity. It brings families together. Like we have a new potato day where you get all the new potatoes dug up.
Yeah.
And so it brings people together, but it also is a way to preserve the food. And
Yeah.
that self-sustainability and self-reliance is
Yeah.
really important to, I think, the culture. But it opens us up to flavors that we wouldn't. I mean, like there's stuff on your shelves right now that I don't think people would have if they weren't in that kind of a
Right.
situation.
Right.
You know? And
And so pickling is a form of putting up.
Yes.
a form of preserving it for the
Yeah.
future,
Right.
saving it for
Yeah.
the winter.
Yep. And last one, cast iron skillets.
Okay. I love a cast iron skillet. Like some of the best gifts I've received are like I got before my grandfather passed away, he gave me a cornbread, you know, with the corn.
The corn sticks.
Yes,
Yeah.
corn sticks.
Yeah.
And I just love that so much.
Mhm.
But I love cast iron. It's fun to talk about on the internet because people have wrong opinions about
That's
Wrong.
and it comes from they were right a long time ago
right.
when there was lye in the soap and
Yeah.
it was a whole thing. But people just are misinformed about cast iron, you know, first of all. And I think it's our language around it because we call it seasoned cast iron. And I think people think that it means like seasoning, like flavor, you know,
Right.
and it's about seasoning the metal, like it's seasoning
Yeah.
the iron. to
Yeah.
get
If you
that
can still
glaze.
taste the flavor of whatever you cooked before,
Yeah.
you probably need to use a little
Right,
soap
like
in
that's
cast
not what
iron,
it's-
and it's okay.
You're not
Right.
supposed to.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the seasoning is about the metal itself. So I think
Yeah.
people get confused about that. And then lye used to be in soap, and you obviously wouldn't want to put lye on things, but you can season a cast iron skillet and it'll be shiny like a mirror and it'll be beautiful. I think cast iron is one of the best materials to use. I love to cook in a cast iron skillet. We have some stainless steel pans that we've been using lately, but the cast iron skillet stays on the stove, you know.
Yeah.
And there's a way to learn how to cook in cast iron and stainless steel.
Yes.
They're different.
And they're different.
Absolutely.
They are so different.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing.
And there's
But-
certain things you don't cook in the cast iron or you'll taste
Right.
it forever.
Or somebody came and cooked a fish
A
in your cast
fish.
iron, like, oh my Lord.
Goodness.
But I can tell you a way to go viral on the internet is just mention like cast iron in the dishwasher
Yeah.
or mention like, or ask people, would you put soap on the cast iron? It's going to pop
Yeah.
off. People have strong opinions
Very
about
strong
that.
opinions.
Misinformed opinions, but
Right.
strong opinions.
Right.
But Lodge cast iron will usually pop in and they'll have something to say that, and it makes
Yeah.
me feel good about it. Every now and then I'll be like, at Lodge cast iron help.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So with all the food that you talk about in here, and like I said, there's not recipes, but there is an ingredient that you talk about. One ingredient gets its own full page, almost a chapter of its own. So what's that one ingredient? Do you know what I'm talking
I have
about?
no idea.
Something you're going to use in your cast iron skillet when you start cooking.
Bacon grease.
Bacon grease.
I love that. I was like, it could be a few things. There could be, bacon grease is such a standard, And I think you can learn something about people from their use / not use of bacon grease.
Yeah.
know? First of all, are they using the bacon grease?
Yeah.
And second of all, where is it stored? Because you say if you're not familiar with bacon grease, you definitely save the bacon grease.
Yeah.
And there's different ways of saving it, and it goes from are you straining this through cheesecloth to have like clear bacon grease? Are you keeping the little bits in it? You know,
Yeah.
and some people are.
Yeah.
Is the bacon grease stored by the stove? Is it in the refrigerator? If you go to someone's house and they have like an old tin can that has bacon grease in it by the stove,
Yeah.
you may be like, well, that can't be like safe or healthy. No, you've just entered like an expert kitchen. This is an expert's kitchen. They know what they're doing, and it's going to be delicious because bacon grease is the like source of the flavor in so many things that we cook. That's what you put in the skillet for cornbread, like a cornbread cooked.
Start all your vegetables.
Right. Like, and that is another thing. Like, it is a vegetable, but it's not vegetarian.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
Because there was either a ham hock in it or like it's got bacon grease at some point, and it's the thing that makes everything so delicious.
Yeah. Now, you all have said that you've eaten here before. So you've eaten at the Old Mill Restaurant. You've eaten at the Pottery House Cafe. You visited the Old Mill in the Smoky Mountains many, many times. So you grew up coming here.
Oh, yeah.
Every year you've hiked up to Mount LeConte. So you're very familiar with the area.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you talk about corn nuggets in this book, which are similar to a hush puppy. We have something at the Old Mill Restaurant called a corn fritter.
And it was so good. That was something, we even took the extras back to the cabin. We were like, we've got it. This is so good. I love a corn fritter.
Yeah.
So delicious. Which is like a mix, like corn.
It's a hybrid of all, because you also talk about a fritter in there,
Right.
but and how those are different. But this is like a hybrid of all those things come together. And then we serve it with maple butter. And you wouldn't think of maple butter and corn necessarily
But
together.
it's
But
perfect.
yeah.
I think that's such a good example of how what we are used to as regular food, it's so impressive to take like the leftovers of stuff, like just extra corn, extra flour, just little things, and turn that into a delicacy. That is Appalachian cooking to me. That's like Southern cooking to me. It's taking green beans and bacon grease and turning it into a delicacy.
Yeah.
Y'all's corn fritters are kind of like a perfect bite of that explanation of like, these are, there's not even like, it's not like it's like, it even saves the corn. Like it's like not full corn. It's like spread out through the thing. So we're adding some filler and some fluff, but it's still so delicious.
Right.
I think that's
and it complements that corn chowder perfectly.
It really
Which
does.
is
That
more
corn
spicy
chowder
and
is
not
so
sweet.
good.
Mix that maple butter in there and it all works together.
But being able to take
Works
simple
well.
things and turn them into beautiful stuff, I think it can't get much better than that.
Yeah. So as I mentioned, I listen to your all's podcast, Landon Talks to Kate, every week. And you like to do a little this or that.
We love
So
that.
I want to do a quick this or that with you all.
Fun.
Cornbread or grits?
Grits.
Cornbread.
Okay. White or yellow? Cornbread.
I'm a yellow cornbread.
Yellow.
Okay. Grits?
I'm yellow.
I'm gonna go white cornbread. I'm gonna go white cornbread. I'm gonna go white cornbread.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. So our miller will tell you that he can tell who's been in town on a Monday morning. He knows who's been in town over the weekend because he'll check the shelves in the store to see what it is they need to make. And he said if a lot of Northerners have been here, all the yellow grits and cornmeal are gone. If a lot of Southerners have been here, all the white grits and cornbread are gone.
Okay. So are my grits white?
Your grits are white.
Okay. So I guess
but if you put butter in them, they're going to start to.
that's why I said
different
yellow.
sides of our family
Lots of butter.
choose different things. Like my dad's side of the family was yellow cornbread, but my mom's side of the family was white cornbread. But my dad's side of the family was from a box. Their cornbread was from a box.
Yes.
So it's yellow, but it's still
we all know the little J name of that box.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's right.
But bottom line, whatever cornbread you're presenting me with, I'm going to love the cornbread. No matter what it is. I'm going to eat the cornbread.
Biscuits or toast?
Biscuits.
Toast for me.
Okay. Jelly or apple butter on your biscuit or toast?
Apple butter.
Apple butter on your biscuit. Okay.
I'm jelly. I'm not trying to be different, I promise.
There's something for everyone.
We've got we're a well-rounded household.
Yeah,
you know?
we are.
I always say this little joke that Granddaddy always said if everybody liked the same thing, they'd all be after your grandmother.
Wow.
So, we all gotta have something different. We all gotta have something.
That's really good.
Okay, we're gonna get really controversial here. We're gonna go down a rabbit hole of sugar or no sugar in cornbread.
Okay.
No.
I am a no sugar and cornbread type of person, but having spoke on this on the internet very forcefully one time, I respect your cornbread, whatever it is. If it's sweet cornbread, I like it. If it is not sweet cornbread, that's what I'm used to, and that's what I like as well. But I won't be saying anything very. I think it's the only time, I don't know what got into me that day. The only time I've ever come out with like a very strong opinion. I was like, I'll stand on it. Cornbread's not sweet, you know?
I saw that one.
And then people were like,
a little video that like got him in a lot of
I
trouble.
was so mad. And I was like, actually, I don't stand on it. Like,
I'm never standing on business ever
never
again.
stand on business again.
So I defended it's a little bit of sugar and it helps your cornbread brown.
Yeah. Okay, there you go.
So just like a teaspoon. It's not a lot. It balances it out. And corn is already sweet. Corn is already starch. It's going to be sugar. Fully understand the not
Yeah.
sugar in there as well. But whatever you need, whatever you like. How about in spoon bread?
No sugar in spoon bread for me. I like the savory.
The savory?
Yeah,
Okay.
same.
Okay.
Same.
Pickles. Kate, do
Not
you like sweet pickles or you like
Okay.
spicy or more?
I like a good dill vinegary
Okay.
pickle, but my grandmother her specialty was sweet pickles. So still
like a bread and butter or
yeah, her recipe for sweet pickles is still like our family
yeah.
delicacy.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
for that reason, I'll say sweet pickles, but I prefer to eat vinegary, real salty dill.
Do y'all have little pickle trays sometimes? Is that a thing?
No, but we sell a lot of pickles. A lot. I mean, we have a huge variety
Yeah.
of pickles.
For some reason at Sunday lunch, there was always like a pickle and
Yeah, a little relish tray. Yeah.
that was kind of before the meal even.
Yeah.
Then it was part of the meal.
Yeah.
I'm interested in that. I want to learn more about that. It's like, what was that? What was the
Little
pickle?
fixins,
It's
Yeah.
a little like,
accoutrement.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I think it was a big
it was always there.
hostess kind of thing in the
Mhm.
60s really took off. I think, kind of thing, 50s and 60s.
And a lot of the
Have your little
50s,
pickle tray
60s
out.
still really impact
Yeah.
us. Pear salad is still prolific across the town. And I'll tell you,
And that's another controversial.
talk about pear
Yeah.
salad if you want some attention on the internet.
Yeah,
Yeah, really
and
get
then-
some.
And then combine that with your pineapple with the mayonnaise and cheese. Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Mix mayonnaise with fruit and cheese, and
Yeah.
people really have a lot of say.
And that's going to be at every meal.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know who asked for it. Like, I don't know who wants it there, but if it wasn't there, I think I would be upset. I would
It'd be
like,
missing.
Right.
Where's the pear
Right.
salad?
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
How about in your iced tea? Sugar or no sugar?
I only drink sweet tea.
Okay.
So iced tea is not even in my vocabulary.
I love sweet tea. I'm unfortunately not allowed to drink the sweet tea, and so I have to do like a 0 sugar type sweet tea or unsweet tea.
Yeah.
But on it, like my heart knows it's sweet tea.
Yeah.
But also my heart is like, you can't give me sweet tea.
Yeah.
I love that you call it sweet tea. It's not. We're not talking iced tea. It's sweet tea. Or
And it's different.
very specific right off the bat.
Yes,
Yeah.
because sweet tea, you've put the sugar in when the tea is still hot,
Right.
so it becomes part of the tea.
Right.
If you put sugar in iced tea, it just sinks to the bottom.
It's,
Yeah.
it's physics.
It
you know?
is.
That's
Science.
That's true.
Science, y'all.
And how about your slaw? Do you like it kind of sweet or do you like it tangy?
I like tangy.
I like a tangy. I
Yeah.
like a tangy slaw.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there is a specific catfish restaurant in our town that has a sweeter slaw, and I do love that
Because
as
it's
well.
got sweet pickles in it.
Mm, but I like a tangier slaw.
Same.
All right. Well, that was a fun this or that. I
It
like
was
that.
fun. That was fun. Those were all
Um,
really controversial.
Yeah, yeah, some of those can really get us in trouble.
Yeah.
Not careful. What does it mean to y'all to be Southern?
It means there's like a lot of love, and I don't know if that's my personal. I understand I have a personal experience. I've been really blessed as far as like family goes in the South. So my earliest memories are just like warm and so loving, and it's what you feel here in the mountains. It's this like cozy family, self-reliant attitude,
Yeah.
and it's one that looks out for everybody. It's one that cares for everybody else.
The first word that came to my mind was family and then resilience. Because, I mean, in the South, you know, we take care of each other.
Yeah.
Like everybody takes care of each other. Neighbors care for
Right.
each other.
And we see it daily and in
That's
disasters.
why there's
that
a whole
happen.
committee
Right.
To
Exactly.
to take care of
Entire-
people
And
when
subcommittee.
something's
Like it's
happened.
organized taking care of
Right.
people.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's Southern to me, but it's just like showing love to your people and being welcoming, and it's hospitality.
Mhm.
It's all those things all combined. And I'm thrilled to get that our life now is like exploring that more. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's very fun.
And do you feel that being Southern is totally different than other cultures? I mean, it's a large culture being Southern, but then there's parts of the South that don't consider themselves Southern
Right.
necessarily.
I mean,
Right.
we've talked about it today, so many things like these tiny rules that we have. I think unless you were born here, it would be very difficult to explain to people Gone versus Ghana. Like that's a whole
Right.
thing. Like, so I think Southern is a specific culture, but like we said, also there's so much overlap with all these other cultures that it's just so similar to so many different things. So Southern is very specific, but it also is like really relatable to so
Yeah.
many different
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
around the world.
Yeah.
For sure.
And in the U.S. And honestly, and the hardest word to say in Southern, rural.
Yes.
Rural.
Rural.
Things I say, like people from Illinois and Ohio and places like that, they relate to a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about. The words, the stuff, the family stuff, all the things, all the stuff. They relate to it as well. So there's a ruralness that is also a part of the culture
Yeah.
as well that people relate to all over the place.
That is interesting because the self-sufficiency can be seen in rural places all over the country.
All over. Yeah, no matter where you're at.
And in those places, like family structure is so similar because the women are the ones taking care of everybody.
Right.
So their grandmothers are the same importance, I don't know. It's all really relative, but Southern is a specific way. But also I like to say that Southern is a state of mind, and wherever you are, if you relate to these things, claim Southern. I'm down for it. I want everything to be Southern.
Yeah, I talk about Appalachia that way too, and that homesteading is a huge thing that's really taken off a lot of people, and you could be homesteading anywhere in the country. Right. So that idea of living off the land and providing for yourself with what you need, and you're going to figure out how to make it, grow it, find it, build it, whatever you need to do is a very Appalachian way.
It is.
It's a very Southern way. It's just how we've always lived. Very mountain way to live.
It's very much.
Absolutely.
And I see that in my own family. And I feel like there's definitely like Appalachian. I feel like Appalachia sort of like birthed a lot of Southern culture, honestly. I feel like it's so, you can see how it derives from there. It's so derivative of Appalachian culture, that homestead reliant lifestyle. And that just kind of spread from the mountains out. Yeah. I feel like,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, before we finish up, I want to talk about your new book that you've got out. And what is that called?
It's 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, y'all. So we needed another 'Twas the Night Before Christmas.
That's right.
Sure. But this one is the y'all version. And it's just very fun. I had a blast making the video that this book turned into this book. And it is actually really special little book. It was a quick project, but the more I've spent time with it, the more I'm just so proud of it. It's such a fun thing. So you'll find a lot of the language that we talk about, it's going to be throughout the book. So it's your version of it is in this book, and Bless Your Heart. Did you expand on that, or is we
it
expanded on a little bit for the new book? It's expanded. Yeah. And my sweet potato casserole recipes in there. And there's a little glossary in there as well.
So you do include a recipe in the next
first
book.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
And I included that because it is the first thing I ever made I got to bring to the family lunch, but it was I was in high school. So I've made sure not to make that well since then, so they don't expect it. I was just being impressive. Yeah. But I made that we had to do what is the type of speech? It was a speech that we had to make in high school.
Where you explain how to do something.
Informative speech. There's always and that's what I made for my informative speech. So I just really loved that. And so when they were we want to put something in there. And also I think sweet potatoes are underutilized, and people kind of look down on sweet potato stuff. Yeah. And I'm here for sweet potatoes and sweet potato pie, sweet potato casserole. So I felt like it was fun to include that very much. So
awesome.
I'm interested to see people if it lines up with their sweet potato pie casserole as well.
Yeah.
So it's out now, and how's it doing? Is it taking off?
It's doing really well. It's doing really well. It was #1 in Christmas books on Amazon. I hope that it becomes a moment that is a thing everybody looks forward to every year to do with their families. I would love for it to provide a fun little way. And it, in a way, we're parents, we have a 12-year-old, and I hear him say things like you guys instead of y'all sometimes.
Yeah.
And so I know there is an element of this that is preserving this for the future, the language and stuff. And I think that book is a great way for you to introduce that language to your children, that might not hear it all the time. That could be such a moment for you to hear things like your mama and them, piddling, all those kinds of words there in that book. And so it'd be a great exposure if you've moved away from the South and your children are not from the South. Read this book to them. It'll be a little taste of South to them. So it could be a real good learning opportunity. It's a cute little book, and it fits in stockings.
It's a perfect little gift
great.
size.
Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, tuck it right into any in a basket or stocking or anything. Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, so I think the original book, we did a reading of 'Twas the Night Before Christmas on video just to post on our social a couple of years ago, and we'll probably keep reposting that every year. Came out a little over 100 years ago now. So
wow.
Yeah, I think it was 1823, I think, is when it first came out.
Oh, I love that. I didn't know any of that.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's great.
So
there's so many versions of it.
Yeah.
We have the Cajun Night Before Christmas. Yeah. There's so many. That's the one I think of the most.
That's the one my family reads every year.
So I'm proud.
Or it was.
One of the ones.
One of the ones. So I'm proud to be on the shelves with those books. That's exciting. I hope it becomes something for people that they enjoy in a moment that they look forward to every year with their family.
Yeah.
Well, guys, this has been awesome to have you here. Thank you so much for stopping by.
I know. I'm so glad we got to come.
It's great that we've been able to get together, and love that you all came back to Pigeon Forge again to visit. Bring your family. We will enjoy the area.
Absolutely.
And we love that you've been here before and you know the old mill. And
love it.
And some people say, well, what does Landon and Kate have to do with the old mill? I'm like, oh no, they've been here. They know us, and so our podcast is about not just what we do here at the old mill, but people throughout the southern region and people that are representing the South so well as you all are, whether that was your intention starting out, that was your goal,
sure did turn into
destiny,
something like that.
What does it mean?
But you do it so well, and so we're so honored to get to know you. I very much consider you a friend. It's strange because we see each other on the internet. This is the first time I've seen you in person.
Yeah.
But I feel like I've known you for so long. It's like every time your name pops up, I'm so glad to see your handle on there. I don't know. It's just really nice. So it's nice to feel like we came home.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that. All
right. Old friends.
All right. Well, until next time, thank you, folks. We hope you've enjoyed this, another episode of Foothills in the Smokies, and we will see you next time.
Bye, y'all.
You've been listening to Foothills of the Smokies, a podcast that celebrates life, heritage, and stories from in and around the Smoky Mountains. Foothills of the Smokies is proudly sponsored by the Old Mill in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, where tradition and taste come together. Our executive producer is Laurie Faulkner, sound engineering by John Stewart, and I'm your host, Jimmy Proffitt. If you've enjoyed today's episode, be sure to follow or subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. We'd love for you to leave us a rating, share your thoughts, and let us know what you'd like to hear next. Thank you for joining us here in the Foothills. Until next time, take care, and we'll see you soon.